We are seeing all-time highs right before the end of the year for gold, silver, and copper. And I want to go over the analysis for all of the products as I see them for this week. And this is going to be the last analysis video for the end of the year. And then we'll go over some graph analysis. So let's go ahead and look at gold and silver. So the trend is obviously it's continuing its uptrend. Volatility for silver is really high. For gold, it's okay, but we need volatility to go up a little bit more for it to be a proper like good high volatility or high C vol. And for the critical reason for the price to increase, yes, we have an expectation of even lower interest rates going into 2026, and a lot of precious metals demand. No reason for the price to decrease. Basically, maybe a correction, but no reason for the price to go down. So the news are critical, and volatility is low for gold, so I really don't want to do anything with it for now. But silver is a possible position once 2026 begins. At the same time, it's an all-time high. It's up like almost 11% right now as I'm making this video. So I would definitely want to see some pullback before doing really anything. Next, we have copper, which is also an uptrend. It's also at a multi-month high. Volatility is really high, and there are all the reasons in the world for the price to keep increasing and none for it to decrease. Basically, the interest rate cuts are very bullish for copper demand. There's multiple mine disruptions. There's demand due to tariffs, and a lot of demand due to the whole AI, I guess bubble, not bubble. I'm not sure what it is yet. But there's a lot of copper demand for AI infrastructure, databases, and whatnot. So it's a possible position once 2026 begins. We'll see. Again, this is, we need some kind of pullbacks. We need to see something that will make sense to get in a position for a short put. And next, we have crude oil. Price has been drifting lower for the most part. Volatility is somewhat low, and there are critical reasons for the price to increase, which is interest rate cuts are bullish for crude oil. But at the same time, there are geopolitical risks, which mainly, I guess, the biggest thing is the U.S. and the Venezuela situation, which bumped the price of oil upwards. But at the same time, a lot of reasons for the price to decrease. There's expected to be an ample global supply to begin for the first quarter of 2026. And if the Russia-Ukraine peace deal goes through, which looks like, there's some advancements there, then obviously will be way more barrels in the market due to less sanctions on Russian oil. So news are critical and no clear direction for me, so too much uncertainty. And now we have wheat, and it's basically a continuation of a downtrend. Volatility is low, so nothing really for me to be looking at in terms of a potential position. And there's a reason for the price to increase and for the price to decrease, and it's kind of the same thing as crude oil. So if Russia-Ukraine conflict escalates, which it did kind of back and forth during the week, where I think Russia was attacking Ukrainian wheat facilities or somewhere where they hold grains. So price can increase due to that reason. But at the same time, if the peace deal kind of goes through, there will be an ample global supply, which there already is an ample global supply for wheat in the world. So price might keep going down. So for now, volatility is low. I don't know what's going to happen, but we shall see as soon as we have something to do with something to grab with the Russia-Ukraine peace deal. Now we have soybean. Price is falling. There's no clear trend. Volatility is low, and there's no critical reason for the price to increase currently. And there are a few reasons for the price to decrease. So there's low demand for U.S. soybeans. Brazil is expected to have a pretty big harvest, and China did not purchase the agreed upon quantity by the end of the year. They agreed on November 1st to buy 12 million metric tons of soybeans from the US, but they ended up buying only about 5 million, right? So way short than they agreed upon. But obviously this is not something, I guess, not a big surprise. It's China, and they do whatever they really want in terms of buying soybeans, and they won't buy soybeans for at a very high price. They'll wait for price to drop and then buy more probably. So news are critical. Again, no good opportunity because volatility is low. So let's take a look at the graphs and see exactly what's going on there. So we have, we had an all-time high earlier today for the S&P, getting really, really close to the 7,000 for the $7,000 level. We went up as much as what 6,994, 6,995. So really close, and price kind of went back a little bit, but we had an all-time high here. We already right now we are an all-time high for gold. Same thing, obviously, for silver, which is up, almost 11%, which is quite a bit. So this is an all-time high for silver as well, and a multi-month high for copper. So basically, since August, and the price was really high for copper when Trump when they said they will be looking at tariffs on copper. So price went up. What is it, 13% on this one day. So price currently is getting closer to these levels. So it's kind of crazy, right? So this is a Friday, right after Christmas. The copper is up 5% and silver is up almost 11%. These are not normal, not normal numbers at all. But I expect for there to be a big pullback, and then we'll see what's going to happen from there. But volatility is just through the roof for both, and might be a good position for a short put. So crude oil was kind of dropping down quite a bit over the course of basically from the beginning of December. Then it went up with the whole news with Venezuela. Now it's kind of going down again on the same news on the Russia-Ukraine peace efforts. And natural gas I don't look at much in the winter time, but it's been dropping like crazy because of winter. The temperatures in the US are expected to be lower relatively to the previous season. So not as much demand for heating. Now we have wheat, which is a big downtrend. There has been like a global oversupply narrative, at least since the beginning of the year. So price has been kind of going down. It's been finding reasons to kind of spike up, but then just go down quite again. So and creating a new low. So this is where we are at with wheat. Now there's also pretty good volatility for corn. I don't look at corn too much, but it just kind of added up to just kind of follow it. Volatility is good. Price is basically kind of moving somewhat sideways, right? Which is pretty good. But we'll see. Maybe there's a potential position there. But again, I don't want to open anything before the beginning of 2026. And soybean had this massive drop once everyone finally realized China will not be buying the agreed upon quantity of soybeans from the US. So that's pretty much it. Kind of a crazy way to end the week, that's for sure. I don't have any positions opened. I just closed a short put position on copper, which I'm pretty happy about. And that's it. I'm gonna be making a video to summarize the whole year with everything I learned, everything I've missed, everything I did right, and all the juicy numbers. So stay put for that. It should come out next week, right on New Year's. So thank you again. If you have any questions, let me know. Happy holidays, everyone, and hopefully we will have a very profitable 2026.